Alhamdulillah, salatu wassalamu ala Rasulillah. So the next part of this chapter, the chapter of marriage, is Babul Ila. Al-Ila is when the husband says, he has a big problem or argument with his wife, and he says he will not have any kind of sexual relationship with her for a certain period of time. Ila applies if he actually specified 4 months or more or higher, because that is mentioned, this time period is mentioned in the Quran. للذين يؤلون من نسائهم تربص 4 أشهر فإن فاءوا فإن الله غفور رحيم وإن عزموا الطلاق فإن الله سميع عليم. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in this verse mentions that if somebody got into such a big disagreement with his wife, it's almost leading to divorce, and when this happens, usually there is no kind of intimate relationship happening between them. So in the past, before Islam, some men used to sometimes leave the wife. They're married to her, but they have no intimate relationship with her. They can leave her for years like this, okay? And as long as she's married to them, that's before Islam. She cannot really, there was no khula or all these other things where the wife can actually seek divorce from the husband. This was not present before Islam. So Islam gave her the right to seek her own divorce through khula, as we mentioned before, if she's not happy with the marriage. But also here, Islam put a specific time limit. You cannot exceed. If you go into this kind of abandonment of sexual or intimate relationship with the wife, you cannot exceed 4 months. If the 4 months time or 4 months point comes, you have to make your decision. Either you divorce or you resume normal marital relationship with your wife. Okay? So this is the meaning of that ayah.
In Canadian system, you have 1 year
separation, Canadian system, 1 year. But the Canadian system, separation is outside of the house. He leaves the house. No, here he's living in the house. We don't have that in Islam. Leaving the house is not there. Even if divorce happens, they still remain in the same house, because Islam seeks to keep the family together and the marriage alive. Okay?
Sorry, I didn't get the last part. Like you're saying, even if the divorce happens, they can still stay.
Yes, the reversible divorce, they have to stay in the same house.
Okay.
لا تخرجوهن من بيوتهن. Allah says, do not have them leave the house. Okay, they don't leave the house and you don't leave the house. That's in the first and second marriage, first and second divorce. The reversible divorce, because there's still a chance of correcting and resuming the normal marriage by raj'ah that we talked about in the previous class, correct? Actually, Prophet ﷺ himself, he had one time a big problem with all his wives, maybe because his responsibilities were so big and they were so demanding at the time. So ala min nisaihi shahran. He said, okay, I'm boycotting all of you at once, all of them, for a whole month. Okay? And Prophet ﷺ, on the 29th day, he went back, and some Sahaba asked him, he said, but you said a month. He told them a month in Islam could be 29 or 30 days.
But Sheikh, did he leave home?
I have to get you the details on this one.
So,
Yes.
so we can do this. It's sunnah.
Yes, I don't know if he left home. Well, that's sunnah. Okay, but the ila has certain conditions. Let me mention the conditions and we'll continue in Asia. Number 1, it has to be with an oath. He says, Wallahi such and such, I will not have any intimate relationship with you. It has to be with an oath. And it has to be, the oath has to be by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He can't say, for instance, by my father or something like this. It's haram to say that anyhow. The halif only is billah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
What if the oath is not from his niyah?
What?
If the oath is not from his mind? Some people just say oath carelessly.
Say what? Sorry.
Oath. Like
The oath.
wallahi, some people are accustomed to
Yes.
this wallahi.
If somebody-
And
yeah, if
in
some-
even ordinary conversation, they say wallahi.
Yes.
But they don't actually mean it.
Yes, the oath that you don't mean, Allah said, talked about this, لا يؤاخذكم الله باللغو في أيمانكم. Allah does not hold you accountable with those oaths that come out automatically or out of habit, and you don't really mean them. ولكن يؤاخذكم بما كسبت قلوبكم. Allah will only hold you accountable to the oath that you actually have firm intention towards in your heart. Now, that is the kind of oath that you would have to atone for if you break, okay? By the way, in the previous class we talked about a person saying that his wife is haram for him. This is different from ilah, okay? When he says that my wife is haram, then and then he has to, of course, if he breaks that, he has to make atonement for the oath. Not only if he says my wife is haram. This phrase of saying anything is haram while Allah has made it halal, if you make a pledge that this is haram for me, even the food, you say this food is haram for me, and then you go back and eat it, it is considered as an oath, and you have to make atonement of the oath, which is what is atonement of the breaking the oath? No, atonement, no, not Siyam Shahrim. That will make it so difficult. He says fasting 2 months, he said.
No, that's the last part.
Okay. إطعام 10 مساكين, to feed 10 poor people or clothe them or free a slave, and if you can't do any of those three, that is when you fast 3 days. Okay. So inshallah we will stop here and continue later. Inshallah. Yeah.